Also jetzt haben wir im letzten Vortrag eine generelle Produktdemo zu Projektum Power PPM gesehen. Jetzt ist vielleicht interessant, wie sieht sowas in der echt gelebten Praxis aus? Dafür haben wir heute unseren Gast da, den Karl Magnus, Programmmanager in der IT bei Volvo, der Ihnen jetzt einen kurzen Überblick geben wird, wie Volvo Projektum Power PPM einsetzt. Bitte schön.
With increased digitalization comes endless opportunities and challenges. People and organizations try to get access to our data. New threats demand new safety measures. Volvo Group has decided for a common way of working with external access and user management.
Det är ett mycket allvarligt säkerhetspolitiskt läge och det är också ett allvarligt säkerhetsläge. En osäker omvärldsutveckling som vi har att hantera. Vi kan inte heller utesluta än allvarligare händelseutvecklingar. Vi utesluter ingenting i nuläget.
So this is the surrounding that we all know that we are in, and this is not so very often in public. It happens to everyone, although it's not shown and written in the newspaper. There were an incident by Maersk a few years ago that was quite critical. Just to put it into a context, they had a total stop down and it costed millions before they were up and running again. This is what I do. Before I walk you through what I'm doing in my project, I will give you a bit of context. Volvo Group, of course. There are a few trends on the market, you know, efficiency and all the solutions are now being included in a new ecosystem. We're talking about sustainability and a better world to live in. We work with standard rules and regulations. We saw that before. And for new products on the market, there is a need to secure a social acceptance of what we bring to the market. Cybersecurity, when we bring products to the market, is of great interest and great need. We know that. We know the world we live in. Of course, what I will present today, small disclaimer here, of course, but all the material that you see is of public nature. You will find it on the Volvo Group internet page, web page. I just collected a few of these things together. So, Volvo Group, what we do is to drive prosperity through new transport and infrastructure solutions to the world. And our vision is to be the most desired, successful transport and infrastructure solution. And that is what we do. And we have high ambitions coming up very soon, 2030. To drive that prosperity, it means that social and financial commitments, objective key results that we want to achieve. 100% more safe, 100% fossil free, and 100% more productive. Quite a challenge. We are getting there, and that means a huge change of the products that we produce and sell today. By 2030, we will have 50% of our revenue from service and solutions, not only selling product over and done with. We are introducing new services on new business models that enter the scene, and we have a closer connection to our customers and consumers. You can think about Tesla, think about iPhone, what they did to the market. We are doing that now. We are going more software oriented, and in the IT area, we are working more with products, closer to products, what we mentioned here before. So the world is changing. This is how it looked a few years ago, maybe 50 years ago. You've seen it, I'm sure. And my father saw it, how he was a truck driver, so he bought trucks in this way. Now it looks more like this. It's a total shift. It's a paradigm shift that affects and impacts all of us. whether we are working in the factory or in the IT business. So fossil-free, 2030, 50% of the revenues will come from service and solutions, and by 2040, we will have 100% fossil-free only from Volvo Group. Quite a change. We are everywhere, more or less, 100,000 employees over the entire globe. We have production facilities in 19 countries, and we are present on 190 countries in the world. There's more or less every country around the globe. We have a quite heavy presence in Europe, of course. We reside in Sweden, headquarters is in Gothenburg. Where else? I come from Digital and IT Product Management, which is IT group within the Volvo Group, and we have, of course, a number of broad and diverse set of competences throughout our organization, which also is spread over the world. From US to South America, over to India, across Europe, of course. My career in Volvo Group started 25 years ago, and I got a mission to introduce new software and services for support, I think it was, in Switzerland. Then I had the opportunity to move over to Belgium for a couple of years with my entire family, the four of us. Kids were small, they were 3-4 years. And then I continued to Paris, France, and continued my mission. So I've been working across Europe including Sweden, of course, in these fantastic countries. Always had global responsibilities, and I work with teams, making them happy. That's my philosophy. Happy people deliver. If you encourage people to have fun at work, they will deliver. And if you have a clear goal, you know where you're going. Mission and vision is important. And I also have a truck driver's license. So my name is Carl Magnus Carlson, as you've heard, and I will walk you through how IT program management with Microsoft 365 works in my projects. I'm a line manager. I have 10 consultants that work with me, but I also have a project, an initiative in the Volvo Group from IT community, but spanning over the entire Volvo Group. And what we are doing is that we are increasing cybersecurity capabilities for all applications that we have in our product portfolio. Volvo Group has more than 4,000 solutions running on IT environment. A fourth, that's 1,000 applications, have very intense connection to partners, dealers, fleet owners, customer and consumers. And those are the solutions that are at high risk, that we are increasing cybersecurity even more. That's a program that has been running for 2 years now, and we will continue yet another 2 years. We have been in a service development phase, and now we are introducing IT solutions, standardized IT solutions to the application teams. 1,000 solutions, approximately 300 application teams will be introduced to these new cybersecurity capabilities. There will be small code changes, some minor, some larger, but not extensively, but very important to be included. And this is where we now see a need to change our way of working. We have been working quite waterfallish over the past 2 years. We have been using Power PPM, as you saw, but now I see the next step, how we take this to the next level, where we integrate and work and collaborate together with the applications team smoothly, efficiently, to have a total transparency of what we do, what they do, in order to follow the OKRs and KPIs that we set to make sure that we meet the objectives. So before pandemic and before that project I'm now running, I did an investigation of how do we run projects? What tools are we using in Volvo Group, Volvo Digital and IT community? And as you could see, quite a scattered experience I was tooled, or I found out, you know, the normal PowerPoint, Excel, lots of loose documents hanging around everywhere, not connected to each other. SharePoint, Teams, Skype at that time were used, of course, but not really any planning tools. There were a bit of year-round project, of course, not very much for project management. Not so extensively seen here. We, of course, report what we do in systems, but what my peers, what my colleagues needed was not so clear at that time. This is like 4 years ago. And you can see that they are actually quite happy. Not at all. We have the tools we need, you could see, and not really needing anything else. But if there were something, that could be good to have. And the interest was to be involved and have something. So after or during the pandemic, I did another survey, a follow-up survey. And I was asking, what are the following functions that you would like to see? Would it be more templates, or how the system and tools and features would be integrated between? I also did another question of the following features, how they you know, would like to have, if it would be best practice or simple, if it was training that were needed. Really was asking their needs to understand what I could, you know, build and offer them in order to be more efficient. And also I asked them quite an interesting question: how much time they use to prepare meetings, decision meetings. You know, how much time do you normally use to collect information, gather information, compile information from different Excel spreadsheets, all of those loose data points that you have into something that can be taken a decision on? Quite amazingly, was, as you can see, more than a day, from half a day to a couple of days. And then when you sit there in the meetings, you've done it yourself, maybe you only look at 1 or 2 slides. The other 10 slides or 5 slides, waste. Maybe you've learned something, of course, but it was never used. So with that in mind, and what is happening back to the rules, happening on the market? Time flies, products are being introduced, and it goes quicker and quicker. And we see that new business models evolve over time, and it's needed now. And also in the ports, there are lots of new situations, and spending hours, days to prepare material that is not used is not good, simply. We need to come up with something better that speeds up the situation. So this is why globally now, within Volvo Digital IT community, we are working extensively to introduce MVPs and the agile way of working. More sprints closer, and we do that not only in the IT section, we do it together with the product brands. So we are going into product management and product developing closer to the business. So agile way of working is very essential, and that's where we are heading. And it's not just to say that we go agile, we need to do it with our minds, with the guts and feels, and change the culture. This is really something that you need to step into. And I imagine that in the project that I'm running, it will take at least 12 months to get there, to increase the delivery by 100%, to increase the delivery by 100% at the same time, and to release or increase the time for every workforce in the project by 100%. That is to decrease the meetings by 50%. So really do what is needed. So we even go down to reorganize and reset the meeting schedules. You know all of this, but this will happen, and I'm looking very much forward to that. So this is how it looked years ago, and to really show you how it looked on screen, we shared and stored our documents in different SharePoints, but really with the new way, we can get quicker results on a finger, on a click on a keyboard, just one click away. And that is actually how it looks and how it now is looking. And if you want to see a real screenshot on my own small cupboard at home, that to the left was before and to the right is after. It gives a better feeling in your mind when the desk is clean, really. So that is what it gives. And with all that information that can be available on a single environment, as we've seen before, that is to save valuable time. It will not take 3 days or 3 hours to get a presentation material for a decision meeting. It will take 5 seconds. And all of this, when we work with new users, new young professionals that will come in, they will be guided more or less automatically. This is what they expect today. As you can see, I'm a bit senior to my age, and young professionals that come in, they will need to get up and be productive immediately. And this can be done. So regardless of where the information is, it will be at their hands immediately. This is the way of working when we introduce the agile way of working and solutions like this. Now, it's not only the desktop environment that needs to be improved. So you could see that standing in a small cavern, it was maybe not so fancy. It's more fancy to stand on a height like this and have the view. So that's also what I'm doing at my spare time, building a new house. This is half a year ago, and hopefully it will be a party for the ready house in 1 month. So cross my fingers on that one. So with that, I can say that what we do at Volvo, we are shaping the world we want to live in. Thank you very much.
Ja, also online haben wir erstmal keine Fragen direkt an den Karl Magnus. Trotzdem vielen Dank erstmal. Aber wir haben noch eine Frage von vorher, die ich vielleicht kurz einstreuen kann. Und zwar wurde gefragt nach dem Preis- und Lizenzmodell von Power PPM. Können wir dazu was sagen?
Ja, zum Preis- und Lizenzmodell. Erstmal braucht man für Microsoft eine Lizenz. Typisch, was wir heute gesehen haben, ist Power Plattform. Und viele von euch haben bestimmt schon Power Apps Lizenzen dabei. Ganz viele große Unternehmen hat das schon. Aber du brauchst ein Power App pro User oder Power App per App Lizenz. Das heißt, wenn 20 Leute da den App benutzen muss, dann brauchst du 20 Power Apps Lizenzen. Ich glaube, Standardpreis Microsoft geht auf die Webseite oder wie du es gesehen hast, das weiß ich nicht, weil dem Partner weiß das nicht. Aber ich denke so 4 Euro pro Person ist Webseite Listpreis. Das ist die Microsoft-Lizenz. Welche von den Produkten, diese Power BI, historische Daten, ist alles im Azure gespeichert? Da läuft an euren Tenant ein Azure SQL Database und der braucht auch eine Lizenz, aber Consumption und da habt ihr schon auch die Azure dabei in Office 365 schon. Microsoft-Lizenzen. Ne? Dann für Power PPM wird der jetzt Modell ist eigentlich ein Enterprise. Das heißt, du kaufst den Power PPM oder kannst du 2 Leute oder 10.000 rein. Egal.
Time preparation of presentations, PowerPoint. Just at the same time in PowerPoint creation of is management actually accessing the depth of the web?
We haven't come that far yet, and it's not only to present the material in PowerPoints, of course. It's the entire way of working, where we close the gaps between the technicians that develop new solutions and the users, consumers that will actually see the solution. As you could see, the MVPs, the sprints, the increments that we will do with the PI planning. We will have a PI planning with 10 weeks cadence. And the challenge is really with this large community to get everyone in sync. I would say, you know, it's a sort of a logistic challenge, really. What I do is that I try to get people face to face once every half year, but we will have PI plannings, virtual PI plannings, as the cadence of 10 weeks, of course. Yeah, but it's not only the PowerPoint. It's the total way of working, really. I would say the culture, the mindset is really what is in it. Yeah.
So now we do have a question from online, and it's what specific initiatives did help to change the company and the culture towards Agile?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I think that there are market trends, of course, but then I think also you mentioned before that you need to find ambassadors that encourage people to take the step forward. Volvo is a company that has been around for almost 100 years. And of course, the IT people in that constantly changing, but it's not a newcomer to the market like Google or Spotify, though we have in our management team managers from Spotify, so that is going to change. But to do a change is really the challenge, and you just need to embrace the change and to have statements, stakeholders, ambassadors talking about the change as a natural way of living is the key initiative, and it's key thing to do.
Okay, thank you. We have another question. It's been posted in German, but I'll translate. It's a bit of a cheeky question. In the new world, do you have more or less meetings than before?
Less meetings, clearly.
Less meetings.
Less meetings.
Okay.
More effective, and perhaps not. And I would say in the huddle and stand-ups meetings, we will not use the PowerPoint presentations at all. We will use the board. We will use Power PPM. We will use, depending on the level and for the purpose, we will use Azure DevOps Backlog, and we would do the planning from these directly. It's the higher management that potentially now would require, ask, wish for PowerPoint presentations. But actually, if I would recommend, they would just look into the dashboard directly, live.
Thank you.
Repeat the question.
Yeah. Okay, but say the question again, because in the
what would depend with the new system?
Okay, so in the project or in the supporting
The project.
in the project.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the question was what was the first capability that was introduced in the identity and access management? MFA, multi-factor authentication. That is the cybersecurity capability that must be in place in order to get this going. That was quite a technical question.
How many people are currently using that Power PPM?
Currently, we are using it. Okay, so the question is how many people are using Power PPM in Volvo? So now it is the project that I'm heading is 40 people. We are doing that, but we are also doing an investigation and piloting with a wider scope of people to see how we can utilize that. We see clearly two perspectives of this. We see what Power PPM can do in terms of risk metrics and usability features, that it's easy to consume the information, dashboards and all of that. Then we will have the Azure Backlog capabilities with the sprints and epics and features. And the challenge is to see what goes where and how you combine. You combine it, it's all on Power App platform. So that's not an issue, but it's more how you work with it and what you do where. And you can even do, the same thing in the very two solutions that will be synchronized. So I see that we will have both, and they will work together.
Microsoft-Lizenz wird immer gesagt, aber was ist Power?
Ich habe 32 globale Partner und jetzt muss ich halt im Euro umrechnen, um die 18.000 Euro. Ich pro Jahr. Ja. 18.200 Euro oder so.
Ergänzt noch mal kurz, also es hängt ein bisschen auch davon ab, welche Funktion konkret. Es gibt also diese Enterprise-Lizenz und es gibt halt eben zum Beispiel für Teamplanner oder für Time for Teams gibt es andere Modelle. Es gibt auch Kunden, die haben zum Beispiel nur Time for Teams im Einsatz, weil sie nur die Zeiterfassung brauchen. Oder welche, die halt die Ressourcenplanung gar nicht brauchen, dann fällt das Teamplanner quasi raus. Also es ist ein bisschen komplizierter. Es gibt sogar Kunden, die haben nur das Power Hub im Einsatz, was genutzt wird, um einfach Daten, die im Dataverse sowieso schon drin sind, auch aus den Microsoft-Lösungen, einfach nur zu historisieren und daraus auszuwerten. Das heißt also, die Frage ist tatsächlich ein bisschen komplizierter, was ich jetzt anbieten kann von unserer Seite. Schreiben uns eine Mail, schreiben mir ein Szenario, wir machen ein Meeting als Follow-up und dann können wir überlegen, was es für Sie konkret bedeuten würde. Genau, also Azure DevOps ist ja sozusagen schon lizenziert und die einfachste Variante ist halt, dass dann sozusagen diese Dataverse-Schicht dazukommt. Das ist im engeren Sinne das Power PPM. Und das wäre auch der einzige Preis, der dazu käme. Wenn Sie aber sagen, wir möchten noch historisierte Daten haben, dann sind es andere Komponenten. Und diese Preise, die jetzt der Jakob genannt hat, sind halt die Enterprise-Lizenzen. Das bedeutet also der einfachste Form der Lizenzierung, die natürlich viele gerade Großunternehmen sehr lieben, um dann nicht jeden einzelnen User wieder nachlizenzieren zu müssen. Aber es muss zum jeweiligen Setting passen. Es gibt auch andere Modelle. Also das denke ich halt, würde ich vorschlagen, lagern wir aus in sozusagen konkrete Beleuchtung. Aber grundsätzlich ist das ein Mechanismus, sagen wir mal, eine Microsoft-Schicht unten drunter, die an Microsoft geht. Dann gibt es halt diesen Best-Practice-Approach, diese Lücke, die Microsoft hinterlässt, die quasi durch Projekte gefüllt wird. Und das ist dann halt, genau, und dann hängt es ein bisschen davon ab, was es konkret an Funktionen gibt. A brief question from my side to Carl-Markus. Thank you very much. That was very insightful, and I highly appreciate you flying over from Sweden to Munich and spending the time with us and sharing your insights. So highly appreciated. Thank you from everyone, I think. My question is, in terms of, I think, implementation, what do you think, what was your most feasible feature? I think you outlined already that data is at your fingertip and you can instantly use it for a meeting, and you, instead of creating presentations, you rather let the people work on the real data. So that's, I think, one aspect. And the second question is, how do you like the Power PPM community? So I think there's pretty active community. So, and then the collaboration with the vendor. So what's your experience with that?
Okay, so what I a very okay. So what I appreciated very much, just an example, one of many, was the risk matrix that we saw before. We have it on Excel today, as many others, but here I could have it in Power PPM, dynamic, enter risk, set the severity and the probability on it, have it displayed, and I use a program level and then initiatives or project levels beneath. I can filter it for the different projects, and I can make it available for many viewers at the same time. I don't need to have or question whether that Excel is valid or if it is a few versions back. So data quality on that one, very appreciated. Then another thing which, and I will answer your or comment your both question at the same time. We could see dependencies that Jakob showed here, both hard and soft dependencies. We were actually involved together with Project to develop. I mean, development was done, but we had the opportunity to work together and provide our recommendations and feedbacks and needs into that development. So that is a very close cooperation that we've done. So I appreciate that very much. So I say that that community is working very well.
Thank you.
And that is also the biggest need that I now have in the program. We are reaching out to many of these application teams. They look for and ask for transparency and overview of where we are in the project. So roadmaps and timelines and dependencies are a very essential part of that transparency.
Vielen Dank für die Teilnahme an alle Online-Zuschauer.